Welcome back to Module 3. Derek Thomas here. Publishing is the most confusing part of the music business. I get more questions about this than anything else. Like, what's a publisher? What do they do? Should you sign a deal? What's the difference between a publishing deal and even a record deal? So, I'm going to answer all of this in this lesson. What is a music publisher? Let's start with the basics. A music publisher is a company that owns or administrates uh, the copyright to your songs, the composition, not the recording. Okay, they it registers your songs with the pros, the MLC, Copyright Office, etc. They also pitch your song to artists, TV shows, films, commercials, and they collect royalties on your behalf. Performance, mechanical, sync, like we talked about, and they protect your copyrights. They handle infringements, licensing, and any legal issues. So you want to think of your publisher as a business manager for your songs. They handle the admin, the pitching, the legal, the collection, so that you can focus on the writing. But here's what they don't do. They don't record your music. That's a label. They don't distribute your music. That's a distributor. And they don't promote you as an artist. That's management marketing. Okay? They manage your songs, not your career. Okay? So there's different types of publishing deals. There are, I believe, four main types of publishing deals. Each one gives the publisher different levels of ownership and control. The first one is the traditional publishing deal. It's 50-50, 50-50 split. The publisher owns 50% of your songs. Copyright, you keep 50%. They handle everything: admin, pitching, collection, all the legal. The split is that you get 50% songwriter share and 0% publisher share, which is a 50% total. And they get a 0% songwriter share plus 50% publisher share, which is a 50% total. Okay? The pros are they're invested in your success. They own part of the song. They actively pitch your songs to artists and media, and they handle all the business so that you just write. They often provide advances, money up front against the future earnings. The cons are you give up ownership and you only keep 50% of all royalties. So if the song blows up, they get half forever. When to consider? You want someone actively pitching your songs. Consider it then. You need an advance. Consider it then. Are you willing to trade ownership for opportunity? Consider it then. My EMI CMG deal was a traditional publishing deal. I gave them 50% ownership of my songs, and in return, they pitched my songs to major artists, handled all the admin, paid me quarterly. Was it worth it? Yes, because they got me placements I would have never have gotten on my own. Okay, so let's talk about type 2, which is the co-publishing deal, 75-25 split. What is it? It's the publisher owns 25% of your song's copyright. You keep 75%. You share the publisher responsibilities. So the split is you get 50% songwriter share, 25% publisher share. That's 75. They get 0% songwriter share plus 25% publisher share. 25% is the total. So the pros is that you keep more ownership than a traditional deal. They still pitch your songs, though maybe not as aggressively. And you get some admin support, right? This is better, though, for established writers, because the cons would be less little advance money, if any. You might need to handle some admin yourself, and not all publishers offer co-pub deals. So when do you consider this? You're considering this when you're an established writer with leverage, or you want support but also control, or you're generating income already. All right? Type 3. Uno, dos, tres. You have 85-15 or a 90-10 split. What is that? A publisher owns nothing. You keep 100% of the copyright. They just administer your songs, registration, collection, legal, and they take a 10 to 15% commission. Okay? You get 50% songwriter share plus 40 to 45% of the publisher's share. That equals 90 to 95% total. They get 0% on the songwriter's share, 5 to 10 of the publisher's share, 5 to 10 total. Pros would be you keep full ownership. They handle all of the paperwork and the collection, and it's good for do-it-yourself artists who want admin support. But the cons are they don't pitch your songs. You're on your own for placements. There's no advance, and you need to be generating income already, so they won't take you otherwise. So when do you consider? You consider them when you're established and self-sufficient, and you just don't need someone to handle paperwork, or you want to keep ownership. All right. So let's talk about type 4, which is self-publishing. 100% YOU. What is that? You own 100% of the songs. You handle everything yourself: registration, pitching, collection, anything legal. No publishers involved. The split is you get 50% songwriter share, 50% publisher share. That's 100%. They get nothing because there's no publisher. So the pros are you keep everything. You have full creative and business control, and you have no one taking a cut. All right. But here's the cons. You do all the work. No one pitching your songs. You handle all the admin, legal, and the collection. It's a steep learning curve, guys. So you should only consider this when you're just getting started out. Okay? Or you want full control, or you're willing to learn the business side. This is where most worship leaders should start. Self-publish until you have leverage for a better deal. So, should you sign for a deal? Here's my honest advice. Start self-published. Okay? When you're just beginning, you don't have leverage. Publishers won't offer you good deals if they offer anything at all. So self-publish for the first 1 to 3 years. Learn the business, build your catalog, generate some income. Then explore deals when you have leverage, okay? Because once you have 10 to 20 strong songs, proven income, $5,000 per year from your songs, or some placements and some traction, now you've got leverage. Now publishers will offer co-pubs and admin deals instead of trying to take 50%. Okay? When a traditional publishing deal does make sense, a reputable publisher like Sony, Warren Chappell, Chappell, however you say it, EMI, Universal, they will offer you a deal. They're offering a significant advance, enough to live on for 1 to 2 years, and they have proven track record of placing worship songs. The contract terms are fair, all right? Okay, so the red flags to avoid are publishers who charge you upfront fees. That's a scam. Publishers who want 100% ownership, terrible deal. Publishers with no track record in your genre, no. Contracts with no revision clause, no reversion clause, no, neither one of those. Publishers who promise we'll make you famous, that's not their job. My EMI deal was with one of the biggest publishers in the world, and they had relationships I didn't have. That's why I signed. If a small, no-name publisher had offered me the same deal, I would have said no. So how do you self-publish it? If you're wanting to self-publish it, then which most of you, I think, will be for now. Here's the first thing you need to know. Create your publishing entity. Register a publisher name with a pro, BMI or ASCAP. Pay $50 to $150, develop a name, and get your IPI number. Step 2, you want to register your songs as both songwriter and publisher. And when you register your songs with the pro, enter your songwriter as 50% songwriter share, publisher, your publishing company name, 50% publishing share. That way, you ensure that you're collecting both sides of the royalty, all right? Then step 3, you want to handle all the admin yourself. That means registering with the pros, registering with the MLC, themlc.com, distributing through DistroKid, copywriting your songs, pitching to artists, media, all that yourself, negotiating sync deals yourself, okay? And then the next step is you want to track your income. Get a spreadsheet. Use that spreadsheet to track your royalties from each song, which platforms are paying, and of course, quarterly and annual totals. All right? Know what's going on. In step 5, you want to consider hiring an admin company later. Once you're making 10 grand plus per year, consider hiring an admin only publisher like Songtrust or Centric, Sentric. And they will handle the paperwork for 10 or 15%. Okay? Here's your assignment, guys. In step 1, I want you to decide your publishing path. Are you going to self-publish for now? Good. Set up your publishing entity with a pro. Are you considering a deal? Then I want you to write down what would need to be true for you to sign. Income level, publisher reputation, what are the deal terms? Step 2, I want to know if self-publishing, register your publisher name. Go to your pro. Create your publishing entity. Pay the fee. Get it done. So step 3, I want you to update your song registrations. Go back to that pro and make sure your songs are registered with you as both the songwriter and the publisher. And then 4th, post it in the community. I'm self-publishing as whatever your publishing name is, keeping 100% until I have leverage. And then in the next lesson, guys, we're diving into sync licensing, how to get your songs placed in TV, film, and commercials. And this is where the big money is, okay? So guess what? See you there.